We also obviously worked on Elden Ring. We're big fans of Elden Ring here at IGN. We named it Game of the Year in 2022. Do you have a favorite character that you created for the game?
Not really. I mean, what they wanted was when they came to me from Software, they wanted the world. They knew the Elden Ring, the action of Elden Ring that the players would get into would be in the, quote, present, but something had created that present, had created that world. So where did that world come from? And, you know, I've done a lot of world building, most notably on Westeros and the backgrounds of A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones. And I like doing world building. So what had happened 5,000, 10,000 years before the current day action in Elden Ring that led them to that place?
Was everything that you wrote used in the game, or is there more material that could be used in future installments?
Yeah, I think there's, especially when you're world building, there's always more that you actually see on the screen. And, you know, that's true of any of these big epic fantasies. I mean, you look at Tolkien, and there are hundreds of pages of past history before you get to even the era of The Hobbit, and, you know, dozens of kings and wars and things like that. And Tolkien was, of course, the great genius. So all of modern fantasy is really in his shadow. And he did that the way no previous writer had ever done it before. I mean, you got hundreds of pages of background and appendices, made it seem very real, like a real history book. If you look at some of the fantasists who came before him, even great ones, it would always begin with, once upon a time there was a kingdom, and there was the king, and he had a beautiful daughter, and then there was a prince from another land. And half the time they didn't even have names. It was like, then the king said, and that can be very effective with a whole different feel. That's the kind of the fairy tale feel, as opposed to post-Tolkien. I think it's the history book feel, the fantastic history book.
Would you be interested in coming back for a sequel to Elden Ring if you're asked?
Well, I can't say too much about it, but there is some talk about making a movie out of Elden Ring. So we'll see yeah, if that comes to pass, and what the extent of my involvement was. I don't know. I'm a few years behind with my latest book, so that also limits the amount of things that I can do.